everybody, Backyard Bullion here. Welcome one and all to my humble stamping bench, or as I like to call it, the kitchen table. We very much are a kitchen table business here in the Backyard Bullion household. One day I hope of course to upgrade to a lovely great big workshop, but for the time being we are working out of the kitchen hob where I pour my silver and the kitchen table where I stamp it. Now today, as you can guess, we are going to be doing some stamping. I have my big old anvil out here. It's like a 15 kilo anvil, so properly sturdy and heavy. We've got my big old mallet, my nice sort of mini sledgehammer, and we're going to be making some of these 100-gram silver forum bars. Now this is a merchandise project that I'm doing in aid of supporting the Silver Forum. Proceeds from the sales of these bars go a long way to help keeping the Silver Forum a free place for standard members and as cheap a place as possible for paid members. The Silver Forum is a sponsor of my channel, and we've worked with them a number of times over this last 18 months or so to create 1 ounce bars, 100-gram bars and 250-gram bars, and we are now getting to the business end of the 100-gram bars for 2018. So you can see here these 9 business card boxes which I have layered up with 15 bars in each box. They're all tightly packed in, ready for the trip up to the Edinburgh Assay Office, which will be happening very soon. So make sure, if you would like to see that, my vlog up to Edinburgh and the trip up to Edinburgh, to see what we're going to be doing there, and make sure you hit the subscribe button. It's going to be a really great trip because I'm not only just dropping them off, I'm going to be doing an interview with the head honcho at the Edinburgh Assay Office, the CEO himself, so that should be a really fun thing to see. But to the business at hand today, which is the stamping of these bars. Now I've got one last box to fill before we have all 150. 150 bars is the mintage. This one here is the one that we poured live last weekend, or a couple of weekends ago actually now, because we had that mini unboxing last weekend to share with you guys. So this is the one that we poured last week. I know that because I wrote 150 on it in Sharpie, as you can see. That'll just rub off with a little bit of vinegar and a cloth. But this is the one that we're going to be focusing on today to create. I do have 5 others as well left to stamp, so we're going to hopefully get all of these done today, and then they'll be packed up in that box ready for me to take up to Edinburgh very soon. Now, stamping these bars, one of the things which, of course, I try and do very much here on my sort of hand pour silver side of things is to make the best possible looking bars that I can. So to that end, I've explained how I kind of stop short on my silver pours to get this nice effect. And you can see here there's a little bit of graphite on this particular bar in the sort of cooling ripple line there. There's just a tiny little bit of graphite left over. And a lot of you have asked what I do to get rid of that. And this is where this is how I do it. So I have a little bit of malt vinegar, of all things. I'm sure other vinegars would be suitable as well, but I use malt vinegar. And I've got some of this old 7000 grit sandpaper. And it's just simple as putting a little bit of that vinegar on there, and then just gently sanding with the vinegar on there. And as you can see, it has gone. Now you want to use 7000 grit sandpaper or higher. I don't even know if there is a higher grit sandpaper, but this 7000 grit sandpaper gets rid of that graphite with the vinegar on very well, and you have a bar which looks pretty pristine and gorgeous. So that is how I get rid of that remnants of graphite, schmutz as I call it, on these bars, and hopefully create as best a looking bar as possible. Now, to create a really good looking bar, we decided to have this kind of incus stamp. So you'll see on the one that we've already stamped up here, the big circle with the pickaxe is really indented into the bar. And this is the stamp in question that we use. It was made by M. Shaw Engraving. I think you can just about still make out their sort of name and logo on the stamp there. They're a company in Sheffield, very, very high quality stamp. This one's had a whole host of number of bars stamped through it now, and you can see it starting to, if we can get it to focus, starting to almost warp a little bit at the top just from the sheer impact volume that we've had go through it. But the business end of the stamp is in perfectly good condition still, and hopefully we'll have that for many years to come. But this stamp does prove to be very tricky to use because it's a very flat surface stamp. It is, you need a lot of force to get this onto the bar, And in fact, the very first year that we did these last year, when I didn't have the anvil, I just had this little jeweler's block, stamping block, it was almost impossible to stamp it because there just wasn't enough kind of solid material behind on this tiny block. So we got this big anvil, and that is what we used to stamp them. So hopefully we're going to do this one perfectly first time. There are some occasions when I do not get it right, and the stamp will jump or the stamp will not take properly. So hopefully we're going to get this done correctly on camera right now. You'll notice I have got a little cloth underneath the anvil. That's just to basically protect my kitchen table. Obviously in a perfect scenario this would be against another hard surface. For those who are wondering, this big table actually has central support, so it doesn't have table legs at the sides, it has big old central support. So I'm right underneath here is a giant big sort of structural support which goes straight down to the floor. So it is very, very sturdy, so do not worry, I am not in danger of breaking my lovely table. Now, confidence is the key. I said this last year when I was doing these stampings, confidence really is the key. I've got the stamp where I want it, I'm holding it with as much force as I can, and then you just have to take your hammer and you bash it. Now I will warn you, there's going to be a very loud noise, so be warned. Here we go, and wish me luck. It is just literally all about confidence. So I've given it 4 good whacks. Hopefully that is enough. And the moment of truth when I take the hammer and when I take the stamp off, we can see it there. So that is pretty perfect. I'm very happy with that. We haven't seen it jump. There's no extra indentations. How look at that? That's very cool. Now I put a piece of paper underneath this because the metal here does have a little bit of texture. And when I stamp these straight onto the metal, it would actually leave a little bit of the texturing of this on there, and I like to keep that clean, so that's why I have a piece of paper underneath it. Now the next stamp to put on is the 100 gram mark. Obviously we've got the 100 gram here over the pickaxe, and that's what we're going to put on now. This year though, we've done a bit of a different thing. So last year I would do this independently, so I'd have each of these little chops here that we can see in my little homemade board, and I would stamp 100G. But this year we had M. Shaw Engraving once again make a very, very good high quality 100 gram stamp. So this obviously cuts down on my workload. I don't have as many stamps to do. Also, I think it makes the bars look a lot more professional, neat and tidy as well. And once again, it is all about confidence. So get it lined up where you want it, and then couple of hits. You'll notice I'm sort of angling, I'm sort of wobbling the stamp as I go, and that's just to make sure that all of the indentation of the writing actually goes onto the bar. And there you go. You see, 100 grams, easily done. The next thing, of course, is the year date. Now, we were toying with the idea of getting a 2018 stamp made up, but instead we decided not to. The advantage of doing that, of course, is saving time and making the bar look neat again, but ultimately we decided not to, just simply down to kind of the fact that you wouldn't be able to use the stamp again after 2018, so it seemed a little bit of a waste, because these stamps are not cheap. They are, you know, machine engineered out of hardened sort of treated steel. They really are very well made, and they're not cheap either. So obviously the 100 gram stamp I can use over and over again for all of these bars, and also my own 100 gram bars, but a 2018 stamp after 2018 is all said and done is unusable once again. So yeah, I'm doing all of these individual numbers by hand, as you can see, obviously by hand. So there we go, 2018. Now the last mark on the front here, as you can see, we've got the prototype bar there, is the hallmark. That is what we're going to be having put on these bars in Edinburgh. So I can't do that right now. That is going to happen in the next couple of days when I go up there. So very cool to go up there and actually see them do this. I'm hoping they haven't actually heard my request for this yet, so don't quote me whether this is going to happen, but I'm hoping they're going to save this bar for me to actually put these hallmarks on. That would be a real treat, and if I can do that, that would be amazing. Now the last thing to do on this before it is done is to put its serial number on. So we put the serial numbers on the side here, and it is just as simple as chopping out the serial number. So we go, the first thing we do is put an N for the number, so NO, and then we have these little sort of, I don't know quite what they technically are for. I think they're kind of nail stamps to push in nails into boards or something, I don't really know, but we've got those. They make a perfect little bullet point. And then this is bar number 150, so we are then going to stamp it with 1 and a, make sure you get your stamps the right way round. I have been guilty of messing up a few good looking bars because I was not concentrating, but if you are stamping lots of bars like this, now I stamped pretty much all of these 100 and what have we got, 135 plus these 144 bars. I stamped those all in one sort of day basically. It was over like a 10-hour period, and I was properly tired at the end of it. You know, doing these giant big stamps over and over again, very hard work, and you know, you do make a few mistakes here and there. But you know, I like to make sure that everything looks as good as possible, so if any of these bars end up not looking great, they get remelted and made into something else. So there we go, that is bar number 150. So there we go everybody, I hope you have enjoyed watching this number 150, the last bar in the mintage, get stamped up and all done. I'm happy that I didn't mess it up live on camera, that would have been an interesting situation, but there it is all done. I have these last 5 bars left to do, so I'm going to crack on with those after this video has finished. And if you'd like to get involved and you'd like to find out more about these 100 gram bars, then please head on over to the Silver Forum. There's a link down in the description below where you can find all of the pertinent information about these bars, how you can get involved, how you can purchase them and support the forum. If you like this video, please put a thumbs up on it and share it around on your social media. That would be incredibly helpful for everything that I do here on my channel to help continue to grow it and to help create new and exciting content for you guys. If you want to see my trip to the Edinburgh Assay Office, make sure you hit the subscribe button. And if you want to get a notification when that video goes live, hit the subscribe button as well. Otherwise, that is all I have to say. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you all have a fantastic weekend. And please remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe for more.